Fight me then. Got some bad news for you at the end of this video. What is up, everybody, ladies and gentlemen? It is Shawn back in here with another music review, and I'm here today to give you guys my opinions and thoughts on the brand new Syd Finn album. Just came out last week. Syd is actually short for her first name, Sydney. 24-year-old singer-songwriter from Los Angeles, California. Like, it's a really good place if you just want to burn constantly because it's so fucking hot out here. She actually used to be a part of the group ODDFUTURE. Any of you who are familiar with ODDFUTURE know it consists of people like Earl Sweatshirt, Tyler the Creator, Frank Ocean. Basically people who society would define as odd at the time were in this group. But I like the way that style of group was named because now it's the future and their behavior isn't so odd anymore or viewed as such. I believe Finn is Syd's first studio album. It allows you to leave a first impression on your listeners. People are already familiar with someone like Syd, but for this to be her breakout solo album is really leaving an impression on people's ears, I hear. So going into this project, I really had no real sense of expectation because I didn't hear too much from Syd when she was a part of ODDFUTURE, and her releasing her own project didn't give me any more hope that she would, deliver something just groundbreaking. But after listening to Finn, I would say that this is it's a solid project. I actually like how the theme is Finn, if I'm correct on this. This is just my interpretation. But the theme of this album is Finn, and throughout this album, she's actually going through the motions and saying how cold-hearted she can be, and her hair is cut kind of like a shark, like a fin down the middle. She actually has one track on here where she discusses going so deep, basically like she's in the ocean, being like a shark throughout this. She's aggressive at some points. There are points where even though there are tracks on here where she discusses how she has more intimate sides of herself, where she describes her love life, most of it is more so about her describing, I have the tendencies like a shark. And I like how the cohesiveness of that stays throughout this entire album. Syd as a vocalist, in my opinion, isn't really that strong. I mean, I didn't get any real hardcore vibes from her other than the track Body. She seems to be another one of those artists that just lets their voice linger on, which is not something that I disagree with. I don't hate that, but it's not something that's a strong defining trait and something I would consider a really great singer. In the very beginning of this album, she starts it off with something that we are going to be familiar with throughout the entire project, but it doesn't really change the pace from there. I mean, it pretty much stays in that same spacey, moody, laid back, maybe smoke a joint, maybe fuck somebody, this type of music. It stays with that style of music. And not saying that that's a bad thing, but this is also something that a lot of us are already familiar with. And I wouldn't say it's something that's going to be a strong point in her career to say something that we've literally heard millions of other people say already. But Syd does do it in a little bit more of a respectable way, in my opinion. She still has and delivers her own sound, even though it is something that we've heard or maybe we're familiar with. The way she does it is just so, I guess, Syd-y. Syd is an artist that really has one of those qualities of making music that people are going to listen to repeatedly, but they may not find that much substance to. I mean, there's a track on here with an artist that I recently discovered called Black. Check my reaction to his album also. That was a really incredible album in my opinion. But it seems like on that track, he completely stole the spotlight. I mean, he worked so much better on that track, in my opinion, by himself. And I think that's more so because he knows how to change up his voice to fit the certain track. I mean, Syd knows how to do that. She just doesn't do it all the time. Or sometimes there are tracks where you wish her voice was a little bit more spacey, or maybe you wish she carried a vocal key or a vocal note a little bit higher. Because there's only so many songs you can rap like, okay, I put up a there's only so many tracks you can do that on before someone's like, you know what, I think I need a little bit more. There's actually one little lyric in here that I actually really like to go back and listen to, which is on the final track, Insecurities. She asks this person if they're listening to her and if she needs a microphone to explain herself. And I thought that was really powerful because a lot of artists think that their biggest way to express themselves is through their music. So her acknowledging that this is another really expressive tool for herself, maybe she doesn't rap, and maybe she doesn't do other things to let her emotions out. Maybe this is the best way for her to tell people how she really feels, which is something I can respect. I mean, this album doesn't have to be so deep and conscious. It can literally be about how somebody feels, how they move, how they do things, and just deliver a vibe with their music. I don't have a problem with that. I think if you go into this project looking for the most creative, expressive, deepest conscious lyrics you can ever find in your life, it's not gonna be for you. But if you want an album, in my opinion, that delivers, just acknowledge that this is her first project and it's not gonna be perfect. There's not gonna be anything on here that is going to break people down other than the track maybe Body. Another really strong track on here, which is All About Me. And the final track, because that's a track where she gets a little bit deeper into herself, and again, I think she gets a little bit more expressive and allowing us to find stuff that maybe we didn't know about her already. It's only a 12-track album. In my opinion, I think it was a really good length for her, because I definitely think that some artists tend to think that they have something to prove for their first album. I mean, definitely this is the part where it's make it or break it, but it's not so complex to where you have to deliver 20-30 tracks because it's your first album and you want people to get to know you. 12-track album, she gets her point across, she stays cohesive with the message through in and throughout, and it's something that if you haven't heard music like this before, it's definitely a nice introduction to kind of that alternative R&B with a little smidget of rap here and there. Did Finn gets a 7 out of 10 for me. I thought it was a really nice listen. I thought it was something that's going to carry her into her next project if she continues with this R&B, alternative R&B type of sound. Only real critiques about this thing is subject matter wise, it doesn't stray away from any of her comfort zones, or it's nothing that's really groundbreaking or, in my opinion, that's going to shake the world of music in any way. But it is memorable, and I definitely think it's something that people will come back to. That's the review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and leave a like down below, comment, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this project below. Let me know if you agree or disagree. I'd love to hear your opinions and let me know why. So on to the bad news. I've already listened to Joey Badass Summer Nights, and I didn't know I did. So I can't film a first reaction to it because it's something I've already heard. I was really excited to listen to a project from Joey that I hadn't heard, but once I started going into like track number 3, I'm like, dude, I've heard literally all these songs. I don't remember where I heard them either, but I do know I've heard them before. Like, I know the words and I know the jingles and I know the beats to a lot of the tracks on there, so it's like I can't even give a first reaction to it. So I'm sorry for that, but again, I will be getting to his project, All American Badass. That's still coming when that drops. Childish Gambino Camp is coming this weekend. I finally have some time, so don't worry about that. A couple gaming videos coming out here and there, and thank you also for 30,000 subscribers. Keep showing love and support to the channel. I'll keep producing as many great videos as I can. We're just gonna keep the ball rolling. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and peace.